to our show In Conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have with us Captain Sankalp Shukla, Director of Bernhard Schulte Ship Management India Private Limited. He is one of the youngest and most dynamic business leaders in our industry. Welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you, Captain Mishra. Thank you very much.
Sir, crew change has been one of the biggest challenges in the recent times here, sir, in our industry. And Bernhard Schulte has the highest standards in the shipping industry. How have you managed this crew change challenge during this past few months?
Captain Mishra, it all started with the lockdown on end of March, and India was completely shut. Nobody was able to come in. Nobody was able to go out. Unfortunately, we had some ships that had to be taken over in China, but obviously we were not able to send out our crew. We had to make do with Chinese nationality because that was the only nationality that was available to take over those ships. Going forward, we, along with other industry leaders, sat down and discussed how to proceed further. We then came to a decision. I mean, as you know, BSM is a FOSMA member company, and I represent BSM on the board of FOSMA. So as FOSMA MASA members, we approached the Director General of Shipping, stating that at least crew change of Indian nationals should be permitted in Indian ports. The Director General of Shipping Office was very, very supportive. It took us some time to maintain, draft the standard operating protocols. We drafted it together with the INSA, MASA, FOSMA, along with the Director General of Shipping's office. And we then submitted, the SOPs were submitted by the Director General of Shipping's office to the Ministry of Home Affairs. And we were lucky that we got permissions to carry out crew changes under very strict standard operating protocols within India. So that was the first step that we took. Thereafter, once we started the crew changes in India, we saw the need to now start crew changes abroad as well, where possible. There were a lot of limitations. There were a lot of restrictions in a lot of ports abroad. But first was, how are we going to get our seafarers from India, out of India, to relieve the seafarers on board the ship? That is where we again sat down as an industry, and we decided that we need to make a representation for starting charter flights. That was the only option out because international flights were not operating. Again, that was a long drawn procedure. Director General of Shipping's office was very, very helpful. They set up meetings with Ministry of Civil Aviation, Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Home Affairs. Again, SOPs were drafted, redrafted, and finally we got the go-ahead. So from beginning of June, we started sending our seafarers using charter flights. We had to identify a corridor because the important thing was to get the charter flight to a location from where you can connect to the rest of the world. True. Again, over there, we thanked the Qataris government to give us Doha as a channel to the rest of the world. So from June, we started operating charter flights. Of course, other players were also operating charter flights. FOSMA MASA started charter flights. 15th of August, FOSMA MASA had ferried 15,000 seafarers using charter flights. So you can imagine the volumes that we were working with, and slowly through IMEC and other international bodies, ITF, we requested them to appeal to the international community to allow crew changes in international ports. So we were very lucky that Hong Kong, which obviously has closed down recently because of the number of COVID cases that have increased in Hong Kong. Hong Kong was a corridor where we were diverting ships. Singapore was a corridor where we were diverting ships. In India, Kochi saw a lot of ships being diverted purely for crew change. We did that. In fact, the largest container ships in the world, the 20,100 TEU, 3 ships we managed with Bernhard Schulte, they were all diverted to Kochi to carry out crew changes. So this is how we've managed, and now bulk of the crew changes have been completed. It's the tail end that is there, and now with the starting of the bubble flights and the availability of Vande Bharat flights, it is getting more simpler.
But that's very nice to hear, sir. That's really nice to hear. Though you have gone through a lot of struggle, the industry has gone through a lot of struggle, but things are becoming better. That's a very, very good thing to hear. So during these difficult times, mental health is a serious problem. We would like to hear from you, sir, what you have gone through and what you have, how you have actually faced this serious challenge.
See, it was obvious for this to happen because, seafarers who have completed their tour of duty in end of March or beginning of April, they were stranded on ships for more than 3-4 months. Ratings who had completed 9 months contracts had gone up to 12-13 months. It was but obvious, and nobody knew how the situation is going to develop. Nobody knew when they are coming back home. So we as a company were sending regular updates to all our vessels. A weekly update used to go from BSM to all our ships, advising them of what the situation is, where crew change is possible, how many crew have been changed, to keep them motivated, that yes, there is something happening. We were in regular touch with their families. We were every 15 days we were calling families of first seafarers who were on board ships to find out about the well-being of the family, the support that the family required, assurances that their loved ones are safe on board the ship, assurances that whenever the first opportunity arises, we will bring them back home. Then we would call up the seafarers who were on leave and waiting to join ships. There were people who needed financial assistance because they were running out of finances, because especially ratings. So we even provided financial assistance to ratings so that the mental stress reduces. Over and above that, we also arranged for people on board ships who were finding it difficult to cope mentally with the current situation, to have counseling sessions with the psychologists, psychiatrists. This was also arranged by us. So this way we moved forward. Again, like I said, thanks to the Indian government, thanks to the industry in India, which is a very strong industry, I must tell you, Captain Mishra. During this difficult time, the industry has stood together. And together we have managed what we have managed.
Fantastic. That's so nice to hear, actually. This is really nice to hear. And that's why we see actually the Indian flag flying high everywhere. So this leads to one more question, which is very important. We also see some trends like the duration of the employment contract. Is it going to be the same, or it is going to be extended? Like the contracts which were, let's say, before for 4 months, are they going to be 6 months? And the ones which were for 5-6 months, they were going to be 7 months?
See, Captain Mishra, we would not want to increase the contracts. We would not want to increase the contracts. The only reason the contracts got increased is because a lot of ports were not allowing crew changes. Today, there is an improvement everywhere. We would like to keep it how it was originally. If at all there is any delay in sign-off, it would only be because the ship has gone into a port where there is a restriction imposed by the local government. But ideally, I do not see the contract duration changing. Ratings are as it is on a 9-month contract. If we extend it any further, we will be in contradiction to the MLC. And officers, ideally 4 to 5 months tenure for an officer is okay, a senior officer, because after that, with today's shipping regulations, Captain Mishra, you can understand that it is not like the earlier times. Paperwork has increased, turnaround times are shorter. So the fatigue levels are very, very high. So if we want a safe shipping industry, we should not be doing that.
Perfect, sir. So that leads me to another question. The government of India has, the Ministry of Shipping has an ambitious plan. They have a vision that there should be 5 lakh seafarers from India in the international seafaring jobs. What is your take on that, sir? How do you see India achieving that target?
I don't see that achieving that target is going to be very difficult, given the current scenario of, now there are travel restrictions on Chinese seafarers. They are not able to fly out of the country. They are not able to fly back into the country. There are local travel restrictions within Philippines. As we speak, I myself have taken over close to around 5 ships that were with Chinese. I'm replacing some Filipino staff with Indian. And this is in advantage to us, like how we had lost slots in March, we are gaining slots now. I would like to believe that it is a permanent solution. So this is the time that the Indian shipping industry needs to show that it has got the strength to support world shipping. If we can build on that confidence, then we have a good future ahead of us. Reaching 5 lakh would not be a problem.
That's really very nice to hear, sir. So, in the end, last but not the least, actually, any message for the industry or the seafarers at large?
Captain Mishra, over here, I would first, like I said, I would like to first thank my colleagues in the Indian shipping industry who all put their heads together, who all put their hearts together and made sure that crew changes were possible, whether within India or arranging charter flights and out of India. I would like to thank the administration, the immense support that the administration has given us during this difficult time. This administration, the Director General of Shipping, along with his office bearers, have been our strength during this very difficult time. They have guided us, they have motivated us, they've supported us. Last but not the least, I thank each and every seafarer who, despite being on extended tenures on board the ship, worked professionally, made sure that they did not cause a problem. They made sure that the ships were operated as efficiently as possible, as safely as possible. And then I would like to thank their families who understood the difficult situations and accepted that the fact that their loved ones will come much later. So that is all that the message that I want to pass is a big thank you.
And I would like to thank you, sir, and congratulate you for such a wonderful job that you all have done. And trust me, you all have won the hearts of the seafarers. This is what the feedback we are getting from the industry. Thank you very much, sir, and have a very good evening ahead.
Thank you, sir.